Dude, you gotta come in with your infamous intro, bro.
Okay, so yeah, whenever you're good, hit us with it.
My wife left me.
Hey everybody, look! It's Rav! Yay!
It's the Going Off Podcast with the Rav Critic Reviews. Rav, how you do? I mean, other than the thing you brought up, but
he hasn't changed a bit.
yeah.
Yeah, we have the same lawyer, so it's really awkward. I don't know how we're gonna go through this divorce.
That wasn't the catchphrase you were expecting, but
Oh fuck! You're killing me.
I honestly don't know if I can afford to pay the rent after this.
maybe you need to. Maybe we can turn off the recording things and you can talk about this.
Are you fucking shitting me?
as
This
friends.
is gold. No, this is gold.
I mean,
I'm in a really dark place right now, actually. So
no, I think Muse. we're currently profiting off of this man's pain. I mean,
no,
it's okay.
I mean, it's indicative of the music industry in general. But I feel like for me to be directly doing it, I just feel really bad.
No, look, Bill never brings the fire like I'm hearing right now from Rev. This is like
some network
in the best
shit.
of.
Bill doesn't call me anymore. I called him for help. I asked him for help, and he just blocked me. I don't know what that's all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is actually
classic Kill
an
Bill.
intervention. We're trying to get the audience
lost my
to help our
job.
poor friend Rav out. He's
Stop.
the catchphrase isn't doing it like it used to.
Well, it's okay.
I don't know, man. I think it's as good as it's always been, or if not better.
Enough about me.
Yeah, fuck you, Rev. Darren, how's your week been?
My week has been great, man. I'm having a good time. Hanging out with friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Ignoring Kanye West. It's been a good week.
More like Kanye breast.
Oh no!
Oh shit.
Rev, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
Rap beef. Come with your best bars that was written by someone else. Get your boy Sci-Hi the Prince cracking in the studio, Kanye. You got a diss track to make.
I think 2 weeks is enough on all Kanye. I think
Dude,
it's.
I swear to God, we're gonna as soon as we're done with this podcast, we're gonna find out that he ate a gerbil or some shit.
Man,
this is just gonna be some weird next shit. We're gonna find out.
our old boy. If you're an off-goer from the days of yore, from the olden days, we used to joke that every week we couldn't not talk about Gambino for some reason or another. And here we are once again, giving us a reason to ignore Kanye and look at him for a while. Now's the time to do it, honestly. You got Atlanta in full swing as Lando in the new Solo movie, because all eyes on you. And yeah, no better time than the present. Man, is there anything we could even say about that shit that hasn't already been said about the video?
Look, man, I watched it the first time, and man, they really need some sort of warning at the beginning of the video to be like, hey, you guys about to see some shit, okay? When the shit just comes out of nowhere, when violence just comes out of nowhere, it's particularly striking. I understand that he was trying to, hit on, how random violence feels. My possible critique of it is that, violence isn't random. That choir, the church that was shot up, that wasn't just some guy who just randomly thought, hey, let me get a AK-47 and shoot up. No, he had an agenda. There was a person doing that. And so what I was thinking was that wouldn't this video be so much more powerful if, everyone's dancing around and having a good time, and then just, every now and then, this white dude, skinhead dude just comes in and, shoots people, And so it's have the exact same video happen, but it's just every time black people are trying to have a good time, it's just you see a cop come up, and then you see a skinhead come up, and then you see, someone that looks like, an old Republican senator or something like that, or an NRA member, comes up and shoots people, and it's just fuck, man. But now some people were saying black people are tired of seeing tragedy. They're tired of seeing black failure. You know what I'm saying? Remember when we talked about the Fat Lip mini movie a long time ago?
Oh God!
And it was Spike Jonze directed it, and it's just hey, hey, look at this rapper who used to be really popular and now he's floundering. I'm Spike Jones and I'm a millionaire and I could help my friend here, but I'm just gonna put the camera up his fucking face and watch him as he yells at strippers outside of a strip club. It's like, what the fuck is this? You know, so I think in the same way, people like probably look at this video and see like, wow, look at all this, you know, black failure, black death, and they're just like, I'm tired of seeing this. I have to see it in the news. I have to see it on my Twitter feed. I'm tired of seeing it. But the thing is, I don't feel like these videos are for black people. They're for everyone else to see. This is the equivalent of MLK. You know, MLK didn't get shown beaten on the 6 o'clock news because black people needed to see it. No. He was beaten on the 6 o'clock news because white people needed to see it. And so, like, on one hand, I empathize, and it's like, yeah, it does feel, you know, over the top and unexpected. Yes, for a black audience to have to deal once more with seeing black death. But at the same time, it's like, we do need people to see it because we went so long without showing people that. We went so long with trying the quote-unquote respectability politics and let's not bring up the past so that we can, you know, be nice to people and not make people feel bad. And we saw what happened. We saw the erasure of history because of that.
Is it exclusively pertaining to sort of like black culture and the black experience, or there's also sort of like political undertones like pertaining to gun violence that I sort of got from it?
It can be interpreted as, you know, because, I mean, we also can't forget, yeah, there is white on black violence, but there also is black on black violence. Now, that is perpetrated and that comes from white on black violence. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have as much of that if it weren't for the self-hatred that has already been indoctrinated into, you know, black culture because of colonialism. That's another way I kind of interpreted it as like, well, he is bringing death into the community because how many rappers have we heard before this? You know, every song is, hey, I'm about to put that red dot on your head. I'm about to fuck you up. I'm about to shoot you. I'm about to fuck your bitch. I'm about to do all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to do something that destroys your life. And I'm about to do something that shows that your life doesn't matter compared to mine. What I found interesting is that he apparently sampled a bunch of rappers' voices. Guys like Kodak Black, Young Thug, dudes who make that type of music, you know? And so it's like, and you see Childish Gambino dancing and all these kids dancing. It's like, they're trying to dance through all of these hard times. You know, they're trying to survive through this. This music is the representation of this struggle that you're seeing in the background. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is how we survive. We have to celebrate. We have to dance. We have to turn this pain into something else. Because if we don't, we won't survive. You know, so that's the first way I saw it. Now, the second way I saw it, just in the wake of like, and this is just my own personal interpretation, celebrity culture, right? You know, we had Kanye West saying some dumb shit, but people just went along with it. Like, if that was not Kanye West that said what he said, people would be all down his fucking throat. But you saw people come out of the woodwork to defend him. Here's the big entertainer. Aren't I so big and happy? And I can do something completely horrible. But it doesn't matter. You'll still like me in the next shot. You know what I'm saying?
My personal interpretation is neither one of the ones that you just listed. For me, the dancing is not a coping mechanism so much as like a smokescreen.
You think it's a distraction?
Exactly. I feel like, hey, you know, the school children represent the Florida shooting, and they're dancing. It's sort of, they're in the background, but I feel like everything is sort of, there's like the scenes of violence are very brief. They're very poignant, but they're very brief. It happens and they're like, look at this dancing. It's a distraction. It's a means of coping, not for like the community. I feel like it's a means of like a coping in terms of not acting on any moral obligation to get invested. I don't know. I saw it as like, hey, here's this crazy thing that happens, and hey, now we're all dancing and everything's good. But if you look in the back, there's always some shit happening, and yet at the front, it's all this dancing, and it feels like it's trying to keep you distracted. It's trying to keep you away from everything in the back. What I would say is, I do think him lighting up a joint towards the end is just sort of to symbolize trying to escape it. Like when it becomes just too overwhelming, because as the music video progresses, it just gets like the scenes of violence in the background and everything become a little more overwhelming. I think even the lyrics become more gun related and stuff. I do think it's like the Black experience in the sense that gun violence and it's happening to these communities and how quick we are to sort of forget about it or want to forget about it, you know?
People are so quick to be like, oh, Gambino, how dare you show the gun violence, get it out of here. But it's like, whoa, no, it's always here. Don't get mad because I'm the one showing it to you. Let's do something about it instead of getting mad at me for showing it to you.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like a caricature of the cyclical nature of how we sort of intake this kind of news, you know? We find out, you wake up in the morning, you look on your Twitter feed or something, you're like, oh, okay, wow, another mass shooting has happened. And it's another sort of hate crime sort of inspired thing. And I think we're all like, man, this is fucked up. And then, oh shit, this new music video is out. Or
right.
check this meme right here, right? And then like a couple weeks later, like, man, that massive thing was just another. It's sort of become a ritual to our society to go like, oh shit, fuck.
Like,
man.
I guess like if you looked at someone's Twitter feed, in a way they would look schizophrenic, right? Because at one side they're retweeting like, oh, look at this silly dog video. Then the very next video is childhood obesity is higher than it's ever been. You know, like
no, but that's true.
I'm trying to think about how my initial reactions to the video was. I mean, because first of all, I think because I wasn't expecting something to have like a strong message besides, I mean, I guess the title alone would kind of give you an indication that this is going to have some type of significance.
Yeah, anytime the word America appears on a song, you're like, well, this is going to get political. Like, I remember as a kid, I was like, man, you just throw America on anything and people will think it's like super deep and political. So I came up with a song called, it was like Peach Fuzz on the Cheese of America or something like that. And I was like, I'm just going to make that for like 4 minutes and we're going to be like, yo, it's genius. No, listen, he's talking about the repetitive nature of our entertainment and how it's mindless. And you know what I'm saying? Like if you throw in America, people's wheels get turning.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Americans love America.
They sure do. The video that you had sent me, which I wrote back because it was This Is America Explained or whatever.
Yeah.
And I clicked it, and that's when I saw that it was a Young Turks thing. Like, I really wish they would have had two black people do it instead of fucking annoying-ass Jenk. I'm the guy who's gonna fucking, outside the experience, explain everything in this video, and it's all gonna be...
I don't think it's annoying.
He's my least favorite guy on the Young Turks when I watched it. I don't anymore. But before the election I did. Afterwards I couldn't do it anymore. But
yeah, like, news in general is just kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah, it was just very, like, surface observations in the video. Like, D-Respect, I saw his.
Oh, yeah. Check out
He goes in a little bit more depth.
And there's a woman named Zal Ul Baurimi. She has a Twitter thread where she gives her interpretation of it, and I thought it was very interesting.
I'm amazed the one thing I didn't notice, because it happened so fast, I guess it's because it's in the shock of the violence in the video. There's always somebody running in with, like, a satin sheet to, like, quickly grab the gun and, like, he just kind of, like, carries it really gently out of frame, and D-Respect points it out that, like, they completely ignore the black people that just got murdered, but the gun is, like, handled so carefully as it's taken out of frame. Like, it means so much more than the loss of life. That's just the thing with art, is that there's so much interpretation to it that people might be reading more into it than there's even meant to it. Like with me, the things that I was questioning more were the things that kind of made no sense to me. Like, I was wondering why it was in a parking garage, or why at the end when you see SZA in the chair, she doesn't even really do anything, but there's like all these parked running cars everywhere. Like, that part, I'm just like, what does that mean? Like what does that have to do with anything else?
You make a good point, because if this is supposed to be seen by white people, right? If they're supposed to be seeing this, if this is intended for them, if you show a black person committing the crime, that excuses the white watcher. You know, because they're like, oh, yeah, that's just black community crime going on in there. That's got nothing to do with me. You know, I don't have to think critically.
And especially over the past week when you've heard, you know, he who shall not be named.
Dude, Voldemort?
Shh.
Yes,
Rev.
Voldemort.
No.
Back at it again. Damn, Voldemort back on his bullshit.
You son of a bitch, you brought it back. You're supposed to not say his name. Or
He's going to be in the comment section again. God damn it.
Oh.
Fuck, I slipped up.
Okay,
My bad.
I've got an idea. And you guys can shut this down, but I just want to throw it out there. Do you think the reason why some people it was easier for them to come down on this video because I mean, straight up and down, within the first 30 seconds, Childish Gambino makes some goofy ass faces.
I think he did. Don't you think it's on purpose? Like when he was doing that whole one eye thing, like where he was closing and like I thought that was sort of a reference to Uncle Ruckus.
Oh.
I didn't even think about that.
But the thing is, like, I just wanted to quickly comment on this before I forget. Y'all were saying, like, how much of it is, are we looking into it too much? How much of it is it actually intended? I do think Gambino is a meticulous enough artist. I've not always loved his music, but every time he's put something out, sometimes he would put out a script with it, and the visuals, the photography, everything's important.
Yeah, stuff is intentional. He's fucking Stanley Kubricking these shit. It's never like if you watch the 3005 video, it looks really boring, but if you pay attention to things in the background, there's shit going on that's supposed to show like time passing and the world burning and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
So
like, cuz I like to watch directors that tell a story through the lighting sometimes, right? Where like the first time around you watching it, you just sort of focused on what's happening in the story, and second time you watch it, you start to realize, wow, these light techniques are very intentional, and there's specific colors used for these really fucked up scenes, and then the ones that are on the total opposite side of the spectrum, they use completely different colors, and I doubt that it's coincidental, and then you start to sort of pick up on more techniques that sort of reaffirm your suspicion. So I do think everything he put in there is intentional. I don't think all of them are necessarily linked in a very cohesive manner, but I don't think it's supposed to be. As I said, like what if this was his attempt to make a music video that is a caricature of how we are as a society in the modern day, right? So how do you do a music video that's sort of like, that works where it portrays, hey, big thing happens, we kind of almost care for a second, then we don't give a shit. There's other things that distract us. Like these trivial things seem to play a bigger role. They seem to be on screen for longer than the really like important issues. They seem to be unaddressed intentionally in the video, So I don't think anything would be random. I think maybe specifically the fact it's SZA and not some other person, that may just be because, hey, why not? I got SZA in my music video, right? That's dope.
Yeah, I think if people look at anything too critically, eventually it can come down to we're being distracted from actual crime by this music video. Like, it's like...
the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Well, hopefully, I think he's starting a conversation because, we're having a conversation.
Yeah, well, see, at the end of the day, I feel like this is ultimately good. The fact that the conversation is happening in and of itself is ultimately the real way an artist made an impact. Because if we weren't having the conversation, then that means the artist did not succeed in what they were trying to do.
I'm wondering if the rest of the album's going to be like that. Because we got the two performances on Saturday Night Live. One was... I saw people comparing it to like Fela Kuti, and then we got this where it's like a very straightforward, like it's a rap song, but it's got different musical elements in it. Like, is it going to be more varied? Are these even album singles? Like, right. Are these
Do you think it's going to be
standalones?
Because to me, the past two albums were very thematic for sure.
Yeah.
So I wonder if like that's his jam, because he does it well. Both of the last albums, whether you like them or not, he stuck to the subject matter that he set out to sort of tell or discuss or portray. So I'd be surprised if he just had like a bunch of, non sequiturs followed up the songs like this.
There were little things in the song which I did notice and other things I didn't, like what you were talking about before and what was brought up in the D-Respect video of the like Young Thug or
Kodak 21.
And the other one I heard that I'm not hearing too many people mention is that little, it was a sample that was heard all over Amine's album, that, hey! Like, that was in the background. And I was like, oh shit, I recognize that. But I didn't hear anybody else talking about that, which may just because not a lot of people paid enough attention to that album. I will continue to my dying day to fucking put over Amine.
Maybe it sounded generic enough for people, because
maybe.
A is such a, like, such a hip hop thing that maybe people weren't like, hey, whose A is that?
Who's A? It was an odd week because it went from like 0 to 60. How we started out the week talking about how DJ Khaled wouldn't go down on his wife, and we ended the week talking about the This Is America music video.
We almost got back to normal anyway.
Yeah,
Like, normal relative to, like, oh, lighthearted topic. Yeah, let's talk about this. And then, oh, shit.
Never mind. But, still at the end of the day, like, I think there's something to be said about, like, just kind of taking it for what it is, too. Like, obviously it's trying to make a statement. And, obviously it's trying to get a dialogue started, which is great, too. Which, obviously, it's gotten us starting a dialogue. But even without any of that, it's a great song and a great video. Like, I think even
it's a catchy ass song.
Yeah, like, even if people didn't really, like, pay attention or get anything out of it, it's really fucking good. Like, I've already listened to that song a shit ton.
Yeah, dude, even if, like, the music video was, like, the goofiest dumb shit ever, and the lyrics were just non-existent pretty much, I still think people would fuck with it, because it's got a nice flow to it.
Yeah.
It's just, man, I don't know. It's been stuck in my head all day. I've been at work. Every time I'm like walking over to someone's desk, I'm just like saying one line from the song, just a random line from the song, because there's so many catchy bits. Yeah, I've been saying that a lot. I go over to my boss. I'm like, "This is America." But my boss fucks with it, because he was the one who hit me up in the morning like, "Yo, did you see that new Childish Gambino?"
Oh shit, Rev, I did want to ask you. You and Bill toured a bit. I want to hear about that, because all I saw was, because we haven't even talked in a while. I didn't even mention that we haven't had you on the show since like last year, and that's a crime.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Last time you were on was the was to tease the inevitable rap battle between you and Bill.
Oh,
that too.
The
But
sex tape / rap battle. It's got.
Oh yeah, it's got something for everyone.
Yeah, like the first one kind of starts happening, and then it sort of awkwardly intercuts into the rap battle. You know how that sort of thing goes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel.
Someone thinks they're fucking Jean-Luc Picard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
you get it.
I caught.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Jean-Luc Goddard.
Okay.
I love that I just did that.
I didn't even pick up on it. I was just like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Because, Jean-Luc Goddard was really weird with how he, like, would edit cuts and shit together. But I fucking said Jean-Luc Picard, oh God. I don't even watch Star Trek like that.
It was an Instagram live, like, video of, like, you two in the hotel room, and I tried to, like, not be like, hey guys, so I just, like, sat back and watched.
We were doing unboxing live on Instagram, and so we bought booster packs for Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, and it was whack because it was just like 3 cards per booster pack, and the cards were whack. And so, I mean, I always got the better cards than Bill, so that was pretty good. At the end, the last thing that I unboxed happens to be a Jimmy John's pickle, and I mean, I struck gold with that. We basically got flown out to Wisconsin. This dude, it was his birthday, so he basically paid for all the expenses and everything. It was really tight. It was nice seeing Bill again. Yeah, so we did a whole lot of stuff. I took a whole lot of photos of Bill. I have some videos and stuff that maybe one day I'll edit. We even did a podcast, but we never released it because Bill is a racist man, and
I always knew there was something there.
I mean, everybody sort of who's within our circle knows that there goes Bill, the big old racist. He hates white people.
Chinese people, they poop on trains. We all know that for a fact.
He does. You know what? That's funny. He said the exact same thing when I met him. First thing he said.
That's not what I think. That's what he said. I'm not saying that.
That's funny that you think alike, guys.
Wait. Let me make it abundantly clear. I do not think Chinese people poop. Okay.
So I guess you're the racist of your circle,
about whether or not people can poop. All right.
God damn it, man! Just when you think you're in a safe space,
Darren, this show is an echo chamber. You know that. We're not allowing any external difference of thought or opinions on the show.
I'm being censored.
You're a free thinker, I'm sorry.
Someone pay me or else I'm being censored.
It was good. It was good seeing Bill. I wish we got to spend more time together. We ate a lot of pizza, did a lot of practicing for the set, and that's sort of what we did most of the time. It's just a whole bunch of people came through. It was tight. Some fans came through from other states. Somebody came down from Chicago. It was tight.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. But I hope we get to do some more stuff. I'm actually going to be in America this summer, so I'm trying to link up with Bill. I'm gonna let him know when we're in LA, and I don't want to give too much away, but we might do something cool. We might link up, as they say, with a couple cool guys, and maybe do a little something, and so we'll see.
Couple funny YouTube guys.
Yeah, no, I got a job interview with Channel Awesome.
Oh no! Oh no! The fight's out!
Yeah. Have you heard of them, guys? Have you heard of them? They hit me up and they were like, hey, man, why don't you join us?
Dude, one-time offer.
Yeah, they're like, do you like rap and do you like to critique it? Because we've got an open spot.
We really want to reuse this title and this banner. We can just put new content under it.
Yeah. It's really good. I can't wait. So I mean, I
wouldn't pass that up. I wouldn't pass that up. I think the IP is strong right now.
Maybe do a little research, but don't overwork yourself on trying.
No, I wouldn't. Why would I do that? Yeah, why would I do that? I mean,
going with an open mind and an open heart.
They've even given me like a channel name suggestion, Hip Hop Analyst. But I think I want to go for something more like rap analysis or like some like critiquing rap. You know what I mean?
But
so like a rap.
Look, I don't think that would work because Anthony Fantano. He kind of has a patent on like doing rap reviews, you know.
That's true.
If you want to do that, you got to go through him, and then
you have to go through Dead End Hip Hop.
Exactly. And then
it gets messy.
Yeah.
Man, rap is lame.
I know, man.
It's so last year.
Yo, we gotta get back on. You know what? Doo-wop. That's coming back. That's happening now.
Yep.
There we go.
So if you want any doo-wop reviews, hit us up on Patreon.
Yeah, that and Celeste, you know.
Now you're just pandering to your fan base.
It's new-wop now, though, instead of doo-wop.
Ooh,
featuring Goo-wop.
And Fetty Wap.
He's like, hey, what's up? Hello, lo.
What if Fetty Wap just came back doing doo-wop?
With Gucci.
There's a whole avenue of untapped potential here.
Untapped jokes and wordplay.
Hey man, if you keep saying it enough, people will take it seriously. They'll fucking they'll run with that shit. I mean, what else is Fetty Wap doing right now?
Didn't he have like a dozen kids?
Didn't he have like some like video game or something that came out and people saw it? They were like, all right, get your money while you can.
Really?
It was like some stupid like phone game, you know, like
he had a mobile game.
Yeah. You know, like Kim Kardashian, I'm pretty sure she had like some sort of like mobile game, you know, where it's like buy outfits, and you know some outfits put outfits on like an avatar of Kim Kardashian, and some of those outfits happen to cost $43,000, some shit like that. Where it's like people are like, this might be like a money laundering scheme, you know.
That's cool.
I would definitely play a Fetty Wap tap game where all you do is tap the screen like crazy.
Oh, like cookie clicker type of games?
Yeah. Where it's like there's not a lot of thought put into it, and it's just you just click. It's like,
and then after every 100,000 clicks, he has a new child. Because every time I see him in the news, it's like, oh, Fetty Wap welcomes his 14th son, and I'm like, what? I forgot you existed, dude. He needs to come back on like that pirate swag, just like just do a whole caricature of himself, and I feel like that's the way he needs to come back, because I don't think musically he could bring anything interesting in this sort of era. Keep expanding his portfolio. As you said, he did video games, right? He needs to now expand beyond that. Start a YouTube channel, my dude.
He needs a YouTube channel. Let's Plays.
Let's Plays. Dude, playing the 3DS.
We're just trying to help you out, man.
He should get on Twitch. He should get a Twitch stream
Yo,
going.
wasn't your boy Drake on there?
That's true.
Think about it.
It did wonders for him. His career was in the toilet, if you remember.
That's right.
Drake was fucking hurting.
People were saying, Drake, who? I mean, well, Drake is literally how people know. But, you know...
DMX needs a Twitch account.
Oh, shit. Yo,
That'd be
DMX
lit.
got a fucking Twitch account. Oh, my God.
That'd be so
we need
sad.
to have a revival of, like, all of these old school rappers and just give them Twitch accounts and just see what they do.
Like, have like a D-block stream where they just play Minecraft all together.
Of course, the funny thing is, a lot of them will probably accidentally end up exposing that they're, like, you know, secretly sexist and homophobic, but, you know.
Oh, they have those heated gaming moments.
Well, what if you're wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
What if they're all sensitive? What if you get like Rough Riders Minecraft stream and they're all just like
And
Jadakiss
it's all
starts
about
opening up?
positivity and yeah.
Yeah. Like I could totally see it. Like Jadakiss would be the troll. He'd start griefing everybody and go as he burns everything.
Mike Jones needs to play Undertale.
Oh man, Mike Jones. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Have y'all seen that interview where Jadakiss?
Who?
Have y'all seen that one interview where Jadakiss laughs for a prolonged time?
No.
It's insane. Because you know how, like, I thought it was a fake laugh, right? For, like, songs. But he legitimately laughs like that.
Wait, I think I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, when he goes... and I'm like, dude, somebody, like, call 911. He's stroking out.
This is the longest aha in history.
I fuck with Jadakiss, though.
We need to, because I feel this was short, though. I feel we need to have you on again, like, soonish.
Hey,
But that's only if you want to, though. I mean, we're not going to force you.
Well, all I need is an arena within which I can destroy Bill one-on-one, you know, man on man, you know what I mean?
Hot.
Grown man on grown man,
Yeah.
you know, spitting.
Tons of spit, yeah.
You know, just lots of
spitting
spitting
on your
going
hands
on.
and then lubing it up.
You know, like raw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Raw.
Oh yeah, no.
Uncut, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uncut.
A raw, uncut,
Exactly,
spit-slathered rap battle.
With the rap battle, yeah. Oh yeah,
No
that's
love.
You
Yeah,
got
yeah,
those
yeah,
bars,
rap
too.
battle.
You can't...
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's exact. I love
mean,
you for that. You know, you came in
If
like,
you want.
I mean, you know, we could do other things. Maybe we can kiss and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's secondary to the rap battle. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what-
Mhm.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
cuddling comes later.
why
Yeah.
not, right? Like,
Rap, then kiss. Maybe.
You know, we're all grown men. You know.
I mean, like, you know, like my wife's leaving me in. I just need company, you know what I mean? I'd like to plug my upcoming sex tape with Bill, but I'd also like to plug a song I dropped like a week and a half ago, Little Empathy.
Oh, yeah.
It's about it's whatever you want it to be about, but if you really read into the lyrics, it's about Bill, you know what I mean? It's all of my music is about Bill.
Which one? Skylar Grey?
Yeah.
Okay. I just fucking knew going in. Okay. Well, folks, this week on the Going Off podcast, we are back at it again. We are back on our bullshit with the 2 Patreon-requested album reviews! This time, we're gonna start things off with Skylar Grey's Natural Causes, requested by Andreas Casa. I assume that is how it's pronounced. Thank you very much for requesting Natural Causes by Skylar Grey. Skylar Grey is an artist I've more or less heard the name of. I've seen her pop up every so often on some Eminem projects.
She was on Words I Never Said. She did the Dr. Dre
I Need a
song,
Doctor.
I Need a Doctor. Yeah.
She did that one track with Eminem that was on one of her albums, something about riding a bicycle. She gets around. she's normally in the background.
Her claim to fame is the cold, like a baby doll type of voice, and you hear like, some sort of toy box playing in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's Melanie Martinez, but it's close.
Yeah, but it's like, it's that sort of like really cold, and there's like the piano that's really soft, like it's like halfway between Evanescence and like what's her name? Jhené Aiko, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. So with this album, normally when we go with albums first, it's when we don't have as much to say as much as we do about the second one. If you've been paying attention, that seems to be how it goes. What were your thoughts overall? Because I didn't particularly care for it.
No, I was bored. I barely made it through. The only time it was interesting was Kill For You, in which they do the millionth time of the, ooh, he's bad for me. No, seriously, he's actually a murderer. Like, like they always take it to that fucking extreme with Eminem songs. It's like, you could make me a believer, even if that shit ain't true. You could make me commit murder. Baby, I'd kill for you. But it's like, people always say, oh yeah, it's hyperbolic. But like, with this type of song, when Eminem's on it, it's always like, no, she'll help him hide the bodies. Like, she actually means it. I guess that's cool for someone who hasn't heard, like, this done, better.
When I was listening to it on Spotify, it came up with, like, the Genius annotations. Inspired by Bonnie and Clyde, and I'm just like, oh, fucking, how many times do we have to go down the Bonnie and Clyde road? He himself had the fucking song called 97 Bonnie and Clyde. Like, it's old hat even for him. And especially when you listen to the rest of the album, it's like, I don't buy you as the kind of person to do that.
Yeah.
Up until this point, you haven't put across that image of being that person. Up until this point, and honestly, for most of the album, and this is a fucking spoiler, it's interesting, energetic beats, and then a boring vocal delivery on top of it, and it never gets better.
Lana Del Rey shit,
You see, I would give Lana Del Rey more shit.
Oh, no.
This is...
Wait, you would give her more shit?
No, well, more credit. This is definitely Lana Del Rey.
Like I said, this is below that. This is like the third tier version of that, The poor man's Lana Del Rey, you know what I'm saying?
I'm looking on the Wikipedia article, and I'm seeing 4 stars, 5 stars. I don't know what the fuck they were listening to. Someone calls it a masterpiece. Like, this was boring as fuck. I honestly almost gave up on it. For old school listeners of the podcast, remember how I would sometimes not even listen to the full album because I was an asshole like that? I almost went back. The old muse of 2014 almost reared his ugly head. Cause my goodness, like...
Dude, I understand. I
skipped the intro because the track is called Intro and it's a minute and a half and it's droning. I'm like, alright, what's the real album gonna be? And then Jump comes in and it's, again, cool beat. I'm like, alright. And then it's just like this whisper kind of singing and it's like, alright, that doesn't match up at all. And then I'm like, alright, I'm not really feeling this. I think I maybe listened to most of the songs before I skipped to the next one. But then I got to Lemonade, and even that was just like, alright, so this is just gonna be the whole fucking thing, isn't it? Like, there were maybe 3 songs on the album that I actually dug, but I don't remember what they were. So... I couldn't tell you what they were.
All I remember about Lemonade, and that was the one that stuck out to me the most because my brain goes like, Lemonade, huh?
You're really gonna have a song called Lemonade on an album that comes out in 2016? That is ballsy.
And, like, it in no way matches up to anything that Beyonce was like it's all sloppy, like it's slightly off beat at certain point. Like, no, not at certain points, like a lot of points. Like, there's the flow that people do now, which is the slightly offbeat sort of thing, and that works in parts, but like this just sounds like they need a conductor or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was not feeling this album in any capacity. I don't even know if I'd give it a 2 out of 5 like that.
I would probably give it a 2. But even then,
for
it's
competent production, you know, it's
the competent
not...
production. She obviously has a talent singing wise, but it just doesn't fit this album. Like, this isn't the place for it, you know?
There needs to be variation if this is the overblown style with the understated vocalist, you know? Like, that gets played out.
Yeah, when it's every track, like, I could really do without that. Maybe some more features. Eminem as the only feature was a bit disappointing, and that track going on for almost 5 minutes with that fucking chorus that just repeated over and over again. And even when it was like, all right, fine, I made it through all of that to get to Eminem's part, and even it's not all that great. It was okay. It wasn't the best I've heard from him, obviously, because why should he? It's a Skylar Grey album. Why would he waste his A material on this? But yeah, man, like, I hate to do it, because I notice whenever we do the albums first, and we don't have as much to say, we only tend to go about, like, 10 minutes or whatever, and I'm like, man, you're really paying a good chunk of change for these reviews, and I feel bad for us not giving you a lot in return, but with albums like this, what the fuck, yeah, what am I to say? What am I to say? And again, like, I'm sure if you requested this, you feel very favorably, you rate this album very highly, and you clearly wanted to hear what we had thought about it, or else you wouldn't have requested it, but this was not my bag at all. And I'm looking at this, like, I just have the Wikipedia pulled up. Someone says, from the misty intro wilderness, which turns the dial to an auto-tuned Bon Iver frequency, to the warm acoustic strum of KT Tunstall meets Radiohead, Moving Mountains? Again, I'm sorry, what the fuck were you listening to? Like, I wasn't digging this at all. I know 4 minutes doesn't sound like a long time for a song, but when you're miserable, and you're not liking it at all, 4 minutes can feel like fucking 10. Going on to our next review, we've got 1992 requested on Darren's page by The Game.
Requested by Bobby Rasmussen. Rasmussen?
If you have an album that you want to request us to talk about, by the way, check out either of our Patreons, patreon.com/rapcritic or patreon.com/muse. The Game is a fella we've talked about, I want to say only once before, with the Streets of Compton. And I remember we kind of went in on that album. We weren't the biggest fans. And people weren't happy. People were saying, well, what the fuck do you expect? This isn't, this isn't canon. This is kind of part of his side catalog. This is like a mixtape almost, sorta. You gotta listen to his real shit. So this time we're taking a look at his 2016, 2017. It is part of his discography. It's his 8th studio album, 1992, with the fucking Snoop Dogg, like, inspired Death Row album cover. I was here for it. I was interested to see where this was gonna go. And once again, because I'm curious, I'm gonna have to pitch it over to you, because I want to hear your thoughts first and foremost.
So, I'm listening to this album, and I'm thinking, man, The Game, a decade and a half past his prime. Man, is there anything that's going to be good on this that's going to be worth listening to? Tracks 1 through 7, straight fucking fire. And I was like, what the fuck? Dude, True Colors? Jesus Christ. Wait, what was the Young Nigga song where it's like talking about how, like, we grew up just trying to survive. My mom took in one of my friends, and he ended up being a Crip, I ended up being a Blood, so because of that we just hate each other now. Like, that's just what happens. And it just shows how arbitrary bullshit tears people apart. And then of course they're talking about fuck OJ.
Oh, fuck orange juice. That's a great one.
Dude, look, man, the first 7 tracks are like, I was with it, bro. Like, this man did, this is what gangster rap is supposed to be. And then we get to I Grew Up on Wu-Tang. And it's like, God damn it, game, do you have to do this? Do you have to do but wait, remember, I know people's names, so allow me to just say people's names for the next 8 tracks. It's just like, God fucking dude, where they just start playing Raekwon the Chef's verse. I'm like, no, nothing underneath it, no beat, it's just playing Raekwon's verse. I was like, stop it. I'm not here to hear Raekwon the Chef, I'm here to hear you.
With an album called 1992, you're looking at the album cover, the first track, Savage Lifestyle. Yeah. Oh my God. This is what I hoped the album overall would be. Because the song starts out, you already know, it's 92. We're talking about West Coast, we're talking about hip-hop. Obviously, we're talking about fucking Rodney King. We're talking about all that shit.
Yeah.
And the first track goes into all that and the atmosphere.
Yeah. The first thing he says is, it's a trap, it's a trap. Why they ain't tell us red and blue don't matter when you're black?
It tells you immediately what the fuck this album is, what it's about. And for this and True Colors, yeah, it's because when we were listening to The Streets of Compton, it dealt with the gang warfare stuff, but I don't remember it dealing with it as well as it did on this album. Like, this album felt like a lot more personal, actually made you listen and made you care about what he was talking about. And I was hoping that this album would kind of be a love letter to, and in a way it was, because you're talking about, like, I grew up on Wu-Tang or whatever, and True Colors obviously samples
and
colors
SWV
by...
and...
Yeah, like, it does the samples from the time, it's talking about all this different stuff, so it kind of gets you in the mindset of 1992, but I wish the album would have dealt more with that stuff, like what was happening at the time and dealing with, like, if you lived through that shit, I want to hear more about that, especially if you're so willing to, put it all out there. True Colors, Savage Lifestyle, great. Bompton, great. Fuck Orange Juice, that was interesting. I was surprised by that one. The Juice is great. Young N-Words, that one's good. The soundtrack, then I grew up on hip-hop. I grew up on Wu-Tang. However do you want it, which... that was taking the samples a little too gratuitously.
Like, it was literally a minute in before any music comes in, and you're just hearing the vocals. However do you want me? How? It was like, dude, if I wanted to listen to that song, I would just go listen to that song. I don't need to hear the fucking vocal a cappella version of 1/4 of the song. What are you doing?
It had to have been expensive, because I don't know, how the difference between sampling and when, for example, between Bompton and Fuck Orange Juice, it's straight up playing the back, the underlining beat of the message, unedited, uninterrupted, just as is. That feels like something you would do on a mixtape, not a studio album.
It's like, how do you think your legacy is gonna look when it's just I'm just ripping off stuff from the 2 decades before? It's like your stuff's gonna get lost, you know what I'm saying? Because it's it just looks derivative.
And that's not 92, if this album made it a point to sample more old school hip hop, if there was some fucking Public Enemy thrown in there, some fucking NWA shit from the time, more Ice-T, more Ice Cube, more of that shit. It wasn't so much like that. It was kind of mixed. It was a little all over the place. You got on one hand, you got Colors, you got the DOC, Wu-Tang, but then you've got Marvin Gaye, Grandmaster Flash. I'm not saying it doesn't always work, but it's a bit off message.
And then, of course, we have, going back to his name drop flow. So he's like, I'm my own Suge, I report to nobody, and I'm the young Jay, and I ain't need a Jazzo, and ask Kanye who's the real asshole. And then, I love this line. Head game's crazy, mommy's suicidal, rubbing on my dick while she downloads Tidal. Yeah, okay, game, sure. Like, what was that? Was that an obligation? Was that contractual obligation? You had to bring that up?
Can we talk about the elephant in the room?
Jason Derulo.
Was that even worth, like, mentioning?
Yes, it was. Because you made it a point to get
Jason Derulo
on the album. Uncredited, by the way, according to the Wikipedia. I think this is the first time I've ever heard
Jason Derulo
without overpowering layers and layers of autotune. Without it, he just sounds like anybody else. I wouldn't have known that it was
Jason Derulo
if it didn't say. Like, why would you have
Jason Derulo
on your album not have that signature sound? That'd be like having T-Pain on your album and not having the autotune. It would be cheaper to just have some random fuck on the label who, you know, no one's ever heard of. But you went ahead and specifically got
Jason Derulo.
And then later on the bonus track, you got Jeremiah. It's like, why? Why are you even bothering?
Wasn't on one of those songs he, like, says, like, hey, you know, this song's about Karuchi? And it's just like, dude, don't do that. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, he's not married to her or anything, right? Isn't he married to that Tiffany Haddish woman? Or maybe he's not, I don't know. Well, maybe they're together and that's great, but, like, I just feel awkward about anyone going, like, this song's dedicated to you. And now, like, everyone's eyes sort of turns like, oh, that's interesting. Why did he dedicate a song to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I thought it was funny at one point. God, I forget what he referenced. I forgot who he referenced, but he referenced either, like, a TV show or, like, it was definitely something that, like, in a couple of years might need explaining. When he references the State Farm bitch, even now that might need explaining, because that commercial hasn't been on in years, where, like, you would just mention it and she would pop up in the room.
are you sure he's not talking about, like, Progressive?
No, there was commercials where you'd be like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and then the woman would just pop up and she'd be like, what do you need?
Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, it says, N-word say my name, I pop up like the State Farm bitch. No N-words can see me, on or off TV. And it's like, yeah, I can see how that was, like, a kind of big thing at the time, I guess. But now it feels like a dated reference only a couple years later. It's like the kids hanging around the room and they break something and they say, like, a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and the woman pops up and there's just like, at the end of it's like, can I get a hot tub?
I don't remember that commercial.
See? But the game thought, I'm gonna reference that commercial because that's a timeless reference that everyone's gonna get.
Yeah, I give this about I hate saying this, but maybe like a 3.5 out of 5.
I'm thinking the same. I was gonna go more with a 3, only because, like, man, that second half is beyond weak. Like, it's almost, it's the inverse of the J. Cole album, for me, where, like, the J. Cole album started really weak, and then it ended, like, it got better in the second half. This one was, like, it started off really good. I was just like, damn, like, I finally get what people were talking about in the comments of that last album. Like, maybe we didn't get the big picture. Maybe we were just, you know, talking out our ass. We didn't know Game. You know, we were fucking talking shit. We didn't know what he was all about. And for the first half, he was proving it. And then it's just like, oh. I mean, we didn't even talk enough about Baby You, but holy fuck is that song weak. Like, even as far as, like, rap love songs or Love Lost or whatever the fuck, like, that song is really lackluster and, like, extremely skip-overable. Maybe more features, again, I'm gonna say that. Dude, if you're gonna have an album from 92, right, why don't you have fucking features from
some of the old school cats?
But if you're sitting around and there's an album that you would love to hear us talk about, either it's an album you love and cherish, or it's an album that you will feel like torturing us with, people have done it before, hit us up on our Patreon, patreon.com/rapcritic or patreon.com/muse. Check the pages out for details. Find out how you can request an album. It is easy as pie. One-time donations, and you are added to the list, added to the queue. We get to them first come, first serve. We've been blown through them pretty fast, so it probably won't even be that long until we get to it. At least it'll be sooner than it used to be. And since we're winding down on the show, might as well also thank you if this is your first time checking us out. All of our old episodes are on iTunes and SoundCloud. A simple search of Goin' Off Podcast, that's GOIN' off podcast. Big thanks to our pal, Rev. You can find Rev on... He's just about everywhere now. You can find him on SoundCloud. You can find him on Bandcamp. He even mentioned iTunes. He's got the Discord server going on now, so follow him on Twitter. See the details and how you could follow him on there. Him and Bill are great guys. They've been friends of the show for a while, and they always put out quality stuff. And, don't think I forgot anything. So, until next time, for the Going Off podcast, thanks again. I'm Muse.
And I'm Rap Critic, and for a little bit of old school flavor, sayonara.